Good morning, everybody. My name is Evan Clements. I'm the zoning administrator of the city of Keene. Before we get this started, our chair and vice chair are both absent, so we're going to have to elect a chair pro tem for this meeting. For the ease of procedure, I'm going to go ahead and nominate myself.
Second.
Okay. Anybody else like to throw their hat in the running for chair pro tem? Seeing none, can I get a motion, please? Or all in favor? Okay, unanimous. I'll take the chair. So I'm going to call this meeting of the the Minor Project Review Committee to order at 10:06. We'll start with the minutes from the previous meeting.
Excuse me, could you please start with a roll call for the minutes?
Oh, that'd be a really good idea, wouldn't it? Okay, we'll call the roll. Jesse Rounds, Medard Kempczynski, Don Lucier, I guess myself, Evan Clements, here, Rick Wood,
Here.
Yelma DeSeta, and Megan Fortson.
Here.
Okay. We have quorum. We have a motion to approve the minutes of the June 6, 2024 meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion or changes to the minutes? Seeing none, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Minutes are adopted. Okay, do we have any final vote on conditional approvals?
And I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, just to be clear, so we are approving both the pre-submission and minor project review committee meeting minutes of June 6th.
That was my intent, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. And no, there are no final votes on conditional approvals today.
Okay. So let's move into the public hearing for SPR 876 modification number 4, minor site plan, Amatec addition at 44 Blackbrook Road. Applicant SVE Associates, on behalf of owner New Hampshire Blackbrook LLC, proposes to construct a 9,045 square foot addition to the existing 61,100 square foot Amatec building and make associated site modifications on the property located at 44 Blackbrook Road, TMP 221021000. The parcel is 18.43 acres in size and is located in the Corporate Park District. Would the applicant please come on up and, excuse me, I'm sorry. We need to start with application completeness.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is Megan Fortson, one of the planners. I do have a recommended motion for completeness. The applicant has requested exemptions from submitting a traffic analysis, soil analysis, historic evaluation, screening analysis, and architectural and visual appearance analysis. Staff have determined that the requested exemptions would have no bearing on the merits of the application and recommend that the board accept it as complete.
Do we have a motion for application acceptance?
Move to accept the application for SPR 876 modification number 4 as complete.
Do we have a second? Seconded by Yelma. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion has been accepted, or the application has been accepted. Now, Liza, if you could please come on up and give us your presentation.
Can I pick this up? And
Oh, yeah, or I would recommend using the one that's up in the stand, yeah.
Liza Sargent, SVE Associates, presenting for the proposed addition at 44 Blackbrook Road. Here are the existing conditions, the existing building. Currently, there's parking in the front. Additional parking was proposed back in 2020, which was partially completed. And there's a temporary loading dock in this vicinity. More parking to the back. Currently, the loading dock is here. The proposed changes are to the north side of the property. This existing temporary loading dock will be modified. This is the addition. Of the 9,045 square feet, the addition itself is only 6,000 380, because we're utilizing what was already existing, just modifying it. Parking along here, an overhead door, more parking. Here's the loading dock, dumpster location. Currently, the roof drain discharges to a structure here, and that discharges to this existing stormwater basin. We're proposing to put a drainage structure here and improve the flow out of that, expanding the size of the stormwater basin. Landscaping, there'll be proposed trees. There will be a sidewalk connecting the parking that was put here. This needs to be striped still. Yeah, I guess they're just doing a great job and need more space for their shipping department, so that's why we're proposing the addition. Any questions, comments?
Yoma?
Yeah, the proposed detention basin, I don't see any.
Can you turn on your microphone, please?
The proposed detention basin doesn't show any spillway.
So currently, there's an existing culvert there.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think that's sufficient?
Based on the drainage analysis for the 25-year storm, yes.
Yeah. What happened when you have 50-year storm?
That's not required by sitting
Well,
regulations.
I know, I'm just saying, don't you think it's necessary to have a spillway or riprap some sort
We have,
above the,
trying to look at the scale here, 30 feet. There's 30 feet of overland flow, so I think with an existing channel right here, existing overflow, I would, we don't need it in the 25. I would imagine that was designed for a larger storm, that's why it exists currently.
yeah, but I recommend some type of riprap or something to just prevent erosion.
That's an easy add.
Yeah.
In regards to the trees that were proposed to be removed, I know you said you were going to look at the plan and discuss with your client. What is the alternative that you've landed on for that?
So, and the 2020 plan, I don't think they were ever planted. So I proposed putting them over here because they would be a nice location out of the way, but we discussed over the phone. So relocation to this island, not in this one because of the visibility into the loading dock, this island, and then close to these parking spaces right here.
Okay. And then the only other comment I have is, as we discussed also on the phone in regards to the wetland buffer, the project did receive a conditional use permit for surface water to encroach into that buffer. So it's my belief that the proposed riprap for the guardrail has already been, that encroachment has effectively already been approved. So there's no need for an update or a new CUP for that.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Of course.
Yeah, I was the one who, I've taken a thorough look at the application materials. I think that everything looks like it complies with the standards. There were a few things that I noted in my review of the application that I think might need to be addressed through some recommended conditions of approval, such as the submittal of a complete lighting plan for the site, because the lighting is proposed to be expanded by over 50%. And then the submittal of a security to cover the cost of landscaping and erosion control and as-built plans if engineering staff felt that that would be necessary for this project. But I myself don't have any specific questions for the applicant at this time.
Hi, Rick Wood. My question is relative to the redesign of the parking lot flow. According to the sheet C1, It appears that we're not making changes to existing islands, but then there's a new island that comes out from the addition, just this side of the catch basin, on the south side of the catch basin. That appears to like pinch in there. Is there a different layout for the parking lot? I know last time we looked at this, that was one of the questions we had, is there a different layout for the parking lot based on that?
So something I didn't mention, these 12 parking spaces are being removed. So there'll be more maneuverability, so the tractor trailers can get in and out. So these spaces right here are no longer, nobody's parking there anymore. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think at the pre-submission meeting we had, we did, asked if we could get something that is going to be how the parking lot's going to be laid out. So if we could get, I think if we did anything, that's going to have to be some sort of a condition, is to make sure we get some sort of a plan on how the parking lot's going to actually look. Because right here, it looks like you have converging islands with not enough space to even pass a vehicle, so it's a little bit confusing.
I'm not sure if you got to see this plan or not, but it says remove the island lighting pole, 12 spaces to be removed. But I can certainly prepare a plan showing restriping of the entire parking lot so you can see where the parking spaces are, if that's helpful.
I think that's what we had asked for at pre-submission, so yeah, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the board?
One other question, just on the dumpster size. In the back, it appears we're going to remove the ramp that's there, add a dumpster. Just make sure that there are some requirements based on size of dumpster for distance from the building, from a code perspective. So I just want to make sure that you have that in your vision. I mean, it's certainly workable one way or the other.
Is there an existing dumpster enclosure, or is that all going to be new?
This would be new.
New, okay. Seeing no further questions or comments from the applicant, I'd like to open the public hearing for members of the public. If anybody would like to speak who is present in regards to this application, now's the time to do it. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing portion of this and move into board deliberation. Anybody have any thoughts on this application?
I will, Mr. Chair. I'll lay my thoughts out. I mean, I think I've largely already said what I feel like needs to be addressed, but I think the proposal looks good overall, but it sounds like we want to see an updated plan that just shows what the proposed parking layout is going to be without the existing parking lot and parking lot landscaping island lines shown. I guess I do have a question for engineering staff. Do you think that the submittal of the security for the project should include as-built plans, or is that not necessary?
Yes.
It
Yeah,
should,
I would
okay.
recommend, yeah.
Okay. And then also I do think, as I said before, the submittal of an updated photometric plan for the entire site does need to be included as a recommended condition of approval, just because of the fact that they're proposing to expand the lighting installation. And my only other comments are that in order to comply with zoning, they are required to have a 75-foot side building setback because they are adjacent to a residential zoning district, in this case, the rural district. And I don't believe that the plans have yet been updated to reflect that. So I would include that as a recommended condition of approval. And also in order to meet the perimeter landscaping requirements, there's already an existing wooded buffer around the perimeter of this building, and I would recommend that the plan be updated to show a 25-foot buffer to comply with the perimeter landscaping requirements. So those are my comments and recommendations.
Okay, so I guess we can just amend that precedent condition for the submittal of an updated proposed conditions plan to also basically clean up the sheet to just show what is actually going to be proposed as opposed to the to be removed. Does that make sense?
So just sheet one, with all the parking spaces identified like that, the 75-foot butter and the 25-foot wooded, so just sheet one revised.
Yes, just your proposed conditions plan, I think would be the recommendation, yes.
Cool. So I agree with those conditions. Overall, I believe that the proposal meets the regulations of the Land Development Code and the intent of the site development regulations for the planning board. Hopefully, this modification to the site greatly improves your operation and makes your lives easier. And we appreciate you all taking the time to come to us today to get this reviewed. So unless anybody else has any other deliberative comments, I think a motion to approve is in order.
One question, just with the conditions or whatever the terminology is that Megan had stated, how would those be rolled into the motion appropriately, or is it covered with our current language?
So they're not, the few things are not covered in our language, like showing the layout of the parking spaces, but I did make a note, and so I'd be willing to make a motion that includes our recommended changes, and if we need to amend it, then we certainly can.
Perfect.
After the motion's made.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
All right, so I am making a motion to approve SPR 876 modification number 4 as shown on the plan set identified as modification to SPR 876, proposed addition for Amatec 44 Blackbrook Road, Keene, New Hampshire 03431, prepared by SVE Associates at varying scales on June 13th, 2024, and last revised on July 1st, 2024, with the following conditions. Number 1, prior to final approval and signature of the plans by the Minor Project Review Committee Chair, the following conditions precedent shall be met. A, owner's signature appears on the title page and proposed conditions plan. B, submittal of 5 paper copies and a digital copy of the final plan set and elevations. C, submittal of a security and a form and amount acceptable to the Community Development Director and City Engineer to cover the cost of sediment and erosion control, landscaping, and as-built plans. D, submittal of an updated proposed conditions plan showing the required 75-foot side building setback line, a 25-foot wooded buffer around the perimeter of the building in compliance with section 9.4.4.A.5 of the Land Development Code, and the location of all proposed parking. E, submittal of an updated photometric plan for the entirety of the developed portion of the site that demonstrates compliance with the lighting standards outlined under section 20.7 of the Land Development Code. Number 2, subsequent to final approval and signature by the Minor Project Review Committee Chair, the following conditions subsequent shall be met. Prior to the commencement of site, this is A. Prior to the commencement of site work, the Community Development Department shall be notified when all erosion control measures are installed, and the Community Development Director or their designee shall inspect the erosion control measures to ensure compliance with this site plan and all City of Keene regulations.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nope. Okay. We're all set. Thank you very much.
Do you need a motion to adjourn?
Okay. Any staff updates or new business?
No staff updates. Just to clarify for the minutes, I'm typically the staff liaison, but here I'm in the role of planning director or community development director's designee today, Megan Fortson, planner. And no staff updates. We will need to elect a new vice chair to replace Med Kopczynski, who was serving as the city manager's designee previously. But that will be taken care of at a future meeting once we have a quorum of people and our regular members are present.
I think that's a good idea. Okay. Unless anybody's got anything else? Thank you, folks.
Thanks.
I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 10:25.